A lynx passed here, followed by a wolf.
Yeah, what did you find? Let me see. Old tools left behind by illegal miners. This is called a Moscow.
Red deer, look. Broken reindeer pack saddle. They like to draw the animals they hunt. Ibex, moose, red deer, musk deer, bear. We couldn't patrol the valley last winter because of the deep snow on the passes. The reindeer people trashed this place. They passed here about a month ago. They camped here, put their reindeer to pasture over there, hunted everything they could find. It's our fault. We failed here.
Today, the Red Taiga is a nature reserve with a unique biodiversity. A vast land of forests, prairies, lakes, and rivers of incomparable richness. It was also the victim of unbridled pillaging in the 1990s. To stop this disaster, the zone was listed as a national park in 2014, under the direction of Tumursukh Jal, who dreams of bringing the wildlife back to these devastated lands. Aided by a team of wardens, his mission is to protect the zone from devastating incursions. But the task is enormous, and opposition in the field is still present. To preserve his native forest, today weakened by climate change, Tumursukh must battle with the traditions of the nomad hunter communities.
When domestic reindeer enter a valley, they scare the wild deer away. They won't return for at least 3 years. Last year, I counted 40 wild elk in this valley. This year, not a single one. 10 years of conservation work, destroyed in just a few weeks.
Unlike other deer-rearing communities, the Tsartan do not raise their animals for their meat. As a rule, the domesticated reindeer are there to provide milk and also transport to enter the forests where they hunt other animals for food and to sell hides in the markets. But the reindeer's presence on these convalescing lands disturbs the fragile balance of the forests that Tumursukh must constantly watch over.
I was taking a nap when you arrived.
Some of your people entered the protected area. Like yourself, I was a hunter before, but I became a ranger. Those pastures are now designated as a strictly protected area. You can still herd nearby, but you need to sign a contract promising not to carry weapons or take dogs. If your reindeer stray into the protected area, call me on the radio. I'll come to help. You don't have to worry.
The mountain pastures here are exhausted. Our reindeer are starving. We need access to our winter pasture in the protected area.
In 2016, the government designated 20% of national territory as protected area. By the year 2030, we plan to increase this to 30%. We need to do our part to fight global climate change.
Okay, but we need access to our pastures. Otherwise, there'll be no reindeer by the time my kids grow up. You've confined us to just a few small valleys. In a decade, our people will be gone.
Tumursuk's mission is to enforce the ban on hunting in the protected zone. He knows it's going to be difficult if the local populations don't engage in alternative activities that make up for lost income. Other economic models, often based on tourism, are today being developed in the country. Tumursukh knows that the transition will take time and that he mustn't give up.
Climate change is now real. Droughts, floods, fires everywhere you look in the world. I can't go solve the problem in Africa. Everyone should tidy up their own house. But some people out there don't realize the scale of the problem. They think natural resources are limitless. Who cares if I chop down a tree? Who cares if I shoot a deer? But every little blade of grass counts today. People need to wake up. The local community must become part of the solution. This town was built as a hunting collective during socialist times. Hunting has been an important part of their cultural identity. Hunting is part of their DNA. You were caught hunting a roe deer. Do you have anything to say?
I was just riding around. I came across 3 deer. I killed one with 2 bullets.
You're fined for entering the protected area with a firearm and for killing a protected species. The total fine is $300. When people see this vast forest, they imagine it teeming with wildlife. But 10 years ago, you couldn't find a single deer track out here. After the transition to a market economy in the 1990s, the socialist economy collapsed. The workers on state farms were laid off. People hunted to eat, but then they continued just for the profit. Skins and animal organs became one of the driving forces of the new capitalist market. Soon, there were no animals left to kill, so people started looking for gold. Gold veins were discovered in 5 different places in the taiga. In 2006, more than 7,000 gold diggers invaded this zone. Economists called this the tragedy of the commons. That means individuals with access to public lands act in their own interest and end up depleting the resources. This had to stop. In 2014, the Minister of the Environment created a vast protected zone. We evicted the miners and started cleaning the trash. It took 3 years for the waters to become clean again. Our objective was to make sure this would never happen again. We had to patrol the protected zones and enforce the law. Bring back the wildlife. Enforcing the law in the taiga is my duty. But I also have to convince the local chiefs to support us. That's more difficult. Winning their hearts and minds is essential. Corrupt bureaucrats sold 44 contracts to mining companies. Remember, this was in 2008. Nobody even informed the local community. They bribed local officials who promised you riches. We'll give you a share of the gold if you vote for us. Our community fell apart. Forest fires, fights, robberies. The town was invaded by drunk miners and prostitutes. Children were afraid to play outside. It became violent and unmanageable, a real nightmare. This wasn't 100 years ago. It was just 10 years ago. Nobody came to help us. We managed by ourselves. Look at what we've accomplished. The cameras don't lie. Wild animals have returned. Some haven't heard the sound of firearms. They haven't been caught in traps. They haven't been wounded by humans. This abundance is the fruit of our preservation efforts. But there was an unexpected surprise. After having disappeared over the last 50 years, the snow leopard has returned and has taken its place at the top of the food chain. Why is this significant? Because a big predator like the snow panther can only live in a healthy ecosystem. The protection of the wildlife is the key to the protection of our forests. Biodiversity is the soul of the taiga. If our protected areas are teeming with wildlife, people will think twice before coming to destroy our lands in search of gold.
Let's sing for your success.
He confiscated my rifle and gave me a fine.
Weapons and dogs are no longer allowed on the mountain.
He increased the fines.
Yes, I heard. A nomad should have the right to go about with a rifle and a dog. It's the Mongol tradition. But Tumursukh and his thugs tried to change all that. Who's going to protect us from the wild predators?
It's true what people say. Some of my rangers were criminals, thugs. Some have even done prison time. But I don't care about their pasts. I look at a person's strength of character and I try to transform it. Up until now, I succeeded in transforming 12 poachers into forest wardens. They were the most merciless hunters. Now, they are the best rangers. They know the taiga better than anyone. Those illegal hunters are now my warriors.
When he asked me to work for him, I thought it was a joke.
It takes a hunter to catch a hunter. No one else can do it. Only a hunter can predict what another hunter will do.
He hunted us down one by one. After catching me, he went after Manchu in the Ulan Taiga. Then he arrested Zorig the shaman. Then he pursued Zolt Passenger for 3 months in the snow.
It wasn't enough to beat them at their own game. It was also psychological warfare. I knew there was something else going on with these guys, like a disillusion. Like when a battery is nearly dead, and then a small light comes on.
In winter and in spring, the Dahat nomads begin the transhumance along the protected zone. They carry rifles and have dogs. Along their way, they come across migrating wildlife, which are often disturbed by their presence. In these delicate moments for the wildlife's equilibrium, Tumursukh and his men often supervise the transhumance to ensure that there is no conflict with the animals of the reserve. It's also an opportunity for them to establish new relationships of trust with the nomads.
You went that way. It's one big bear.
A bear was here, that's for sure, but these are old tracks from 6 to 7 days ago. A sheep has been by since, and a dog. The bears live here like many other wild animals. They regularly move through the forest looking for food, just like the stags and the boars who come this way. People have to understand that it's perfectly normal. We found a bag of dry cheese on the road. Here's some information on the bears.
What do we do if a bear attacks us?
You'll find what to do in there.
There are bear tracks again by the river.
I don't think it's the bears from here. Looks like they're chasing something or changing territory. In general, the bears here don't cross the river. Over there, the bears migrate. Humans encroach on the bear's habitat. As a result, the bears move around more. We're caught in the crossfire. We maintain the line between humans and bears. Climate change worsens things. Man is responsible. The weather becomes drier, there are more forest fires. Don't count on celebrating New Year's Eve at home this year. It's been a while since I celebrated the holidays at home. I haven't opened a bottle of champagne with my family for years. Aksha, you remember the last New Year's Eve? Chasing hunters? But we had brought along cake and champagne. We knew we'd be celebrating on the road.
The champagne was almost frozen.
The world is burning. Australia, the United States, the forests of Russian Siberia are burning.
I saw fresh bear tracks over there.
Did you see Facebook yesterday?
Huh?
Did you look at Facebook?
No.
I posted a photo of the bear's footprint. We were coming back from the village. It was scary.
I sensed something was following me in the woods.
Following you?
I turned around to have a look. At first, I thought it was camel tracks, but it was a bear.
A horse just came galloping back from the mountain with half its face torn off.
Did you find the bear?
No. But I think he'll come back tonight. He mutilated the horse during the day. He'll try and finish the job this evening.
They all went off to repair the fences. They left me alone with the children. We were scared. We couldn't sleep, so we played games.
It made a horrible noise.
Really?
Like a demon.
A demon? Rah! Like that?
No, even louder.
Roar! Like that? Roar!
Tore down the enclosure to get the animals.
We heard something fighting with the yaks.
I'm scared.
Early this morning, there was a fatal bear attack in the countryside. A bear dragged a man out of his yurt in front of his son. It then returned to devour the boy. We believe the attack is related to forest fires in Siberia. Herders living near the taiga should exercise caution.
The bear jumped up on the roof, leapt into the sheep pen. Killed 8 or 9 ewes.
A bear has attacked a herd of goats in the district of Durbet, in Hovd province. Why are there so many bears on the steppes? The authorities are investigating.
It killed one of his goats. It was prowling around for a couple days.
Last night, another bear was shot because it attacked a local herder. The autopsy shows that it was a healthy bear, but it was starving. We only found some wool and tree bark in her stomach. Hunger is forcing the bears to attack livestock.
Ready?
Two juvenile bears are on the pasture. We want to capture them before people shoot them. We trapped one in an abandoned barn. We don't have tranquilizer guns here. We use the traditional method.
It's an intelligent creature.
One, two, three, lift! Got it.
It bit my cane. There's another bear running out there. I don't want to risk injuring the horses, so we'll use the vans to flank it. Rangers in the van will snare the bear. While the horsemen stay behind.
I'm going to catch it with a rope.
Horses running together aren't scared of bears.
That's not the point. It's too dangerous for the horses.
These bears crossed over from Russian Siberia. We've never encountered this problem in Avzgal before. I remember once when an injured bear attacked livestock. But these bears are climate change refugees. Because of the forest fires in Siberia, bears can't find enough to eat. So far, we've counted 15 attacks on livestock. It's becoming a serious problem.
The first one was very fierce. This one is gentle.
What's going to happen to the little bear now?
This one's easy. Gentle creature.
It's over, my dear. Let's go.
These aren't sick or injured bears. They are Siberian bears, migrating from Russia. Mongol bears don't behave like this.
In this post, I'm asking students to bring food for the bears. We can turn this drama into an opportunity, mobilize the younger generation behind conservation, create a real discussion between generations.
Because of the forest fires, bears are starving. We have to bring them fruit and nuts.
I've heard that orphan bears sometimes approach humans.
I want some fruit for the bears.
There's no more fruit.
Is Tumursukh a ranger or a zookeeper? Not a good idea to play with wild animals. What's the score?
We can't leave these bears out here. People will shoot them. Release them next spring, far from humans. Far away from here, in the Boz Valley, the Valley of Bears.
Don't bears sleep in winter?
Not exactly. They need to eat a little.
You feed them now and they'll get used to humans. Nothing good will come out of this.
Tumursukh likes predators. He once saved a lynx and a wolf. Now he's brought bears to town.
Did the mother bear abandon her cubs?
No.
So why did they leave their home?
Their forest was destroyed by fires. A mother bear never abandons her cubs. Just like your mother would never abandon you.
Will they be able to survive on their own later?
In spring, they'll eat plants and young shoots. They can also dig for wild potatoes.
Can we buy apples for the bears?
I don't have money. Tumursukh found me and took my rifle. Now he's begging on Facebook. That guy's complicated.
You can keep the chocolate tarts for yourselves.
Fierce black and gentle brown, the two bear cubs named by Tumursukh's team quickly became the subject of conversation in the village. But the rangers have just saved a third one. And this time, it's the children who decide to name it Apple.
Look at its eyes. It seems to be saying, what did I do to deserve this?
giving the forest back its primal soul, bringing wildlife back to these preserved lands. Tumursukh pursues his dream, whatever the price. In the seasons when the animals are the most vulnerable, he and his team don't hesitate endangering themselves to go and place blocks of salt in the caves where the wild animals take refuge, a strategy that facilitates their presence in the territory.
Come on, get up. Some caves are difficult to reach. By putting salt there, we can observe the animals. Follow their movements and have an idea of their number. This also enables us to identify individual animals, to see if they return the following year. The salt keeps animals from leaving the sanctuary. This area is a breeding ground for mountain goats. I used to come here with my dad. He taught me how to spot the mountain goats. Before the protected area was established, this was a hunting ground. You heard nothing but gunfire out here. Locals call this place Bullet Mountain because of all the empty bullet casings on the ground. The mountain goats disappeared from these cliffs. Then I started to leave salt in the caves. They see us filming, but just continued to play. When wild animals look at you with no fear, just natural curiosity, that is the greatest blessing. A mountain should always be like that, peaceful and abundant. A true wildlife sanctuary. Here is Apple. He tried digging a tunnel under the building. These bears deserve a second chance. I'd give my life for them. They should live, have enough to eat. They need a new home to run and play. I plan to release them in a hidden valley where no one can find them, where humans cannot harm them. We're building new cages to transport our bears. These are very lucky bears. They'd surely have been killed if left out there. I fed them for 9 months. After spending many sleepless nights, tomorrow specialists from around the world will gather here to discuss the best way to free them and monitor their new life in the wild. For a year now, I've worried about the fate of these bears. Finally, we're ready to fly them to their new home.
What comes from the mountain must return to the mountain.
There are plenty of brown bears in the world. They're not a conservation priority. Many people dismissed this project as a waste of money. But tagging and releasing the bears sends an important message to the local community. It could change the mentality of the people here. I could have released the bears in a wildlife reserve closer to the Darhat Valley. They would have been easier to monitor. But there was a risk that the bears return and attack the nomads and livestock in the area. People would say it's Tumursukh's fault. I'm going to take them to the Valley of the Bears, closer to the Russian border, inaccessible wilderness. The ground is soft. The helicopter is sinking. We need to hurry. Leave some food behind for the bears. This story is linked to a bigger issue. Climate change threatens all of us. But our political systems cannot deliver. Fear and greed paralyze our governments, leaving us in denial. But we can't run anymore. The Earth has reached a tipping point. I don't have all the answers, but I'm sure of one thing. To save ourselves, we must allow nature to heal herself. This is why I work, day and night, to make sure places like this endure.